Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Godfather Chronicles podcast. My name is Miguel Garcia, and I am your host. This is episode 13, and we're going to talk about finding peace and staying in peace. So, peace is one of those coveted things that, like happiness, that we're always pursuing. So, I'm going to give you some very specific points and guidelines and golden nuggets that are going to help you achieve that inner peace that we all want. But before we go in there, I wanted you to do something for me. If you find value on the podcast, share with your family and friends. Make sure you rate it. And again, if you think somebody's going to benefit, don't be a jerk. Forward the podcast. Send them the link or whatever. So anyway, you can follow me on Instagram at MAG Patriot. On Facebook, I'm at Miguel Godfather. Or you can email me your questions at miguel@godfatherchronicles.com. This podcast is sponsored by Natural Choice Company. Unlock your health. Please make sure that you support my sponsor and visit the website and look at the products and just support them so that they can support us. We're going to get into it right now. We're diving not very deep on this because this is a very lengthy topic, but we're going to try to hit the main points. Stress, depression, anxiety. None of us are strangers to these issues, especially when we have a business and have a family, and we're always striving to do better. There's a lot of stress associated with that. More and more people are searching for happiness and peace, because the world that we live in, it's chaotic. Social media is crazy. I was just talking to a couple people about some of the things that I see on social media. Some people that are pretty sad because they can't compete with the fake people on Instagram or Facebook. People on those platforms, they only show the good side of things, and sometimes the fake side of things. A lot of people, their body parts are not even real, and there's misled young people out there trying to compete with that. You can't compete with fake. So again, it's that stress, it's that anxiety. You're trying to fit in, and it's just a constant struggle, and so it robs you of your peace. To understand what inner peace is, we must understand what inner peace is not. So inner peace is not being passive and letting life pass by you. In other words, people go, "Oh, he's so peaceful, he doesn't do anything." Like, no, that's not peaceful. It's called laziness. You need to really figure out the things that you are doing. If you are, you think you're all peaceful and whatever, but you're not, because you're not doing anything. You don't feel agitated and you think you have peace. Well, that's wrong. Being calm and never having fun or anything like that is not being peaceful. Turning down opportunities to grow your life and to do new things because you don't want to cause yourself a little more stress or things like that is not being peaceful. Becoming a quiet, reserved, and even timid individual is not peaceful. That doesn't bring you inner peace. What inner peace is, you have to be happy with yourself. You have to come to the conclusion that you are unique, that God made you the way you are. If you're short, skinny, tall, whatever, that's how God made you. And you need to be at peace with that. Once you accept yourself as you are, and I'm not saying, don't take this the wrong way, I'm not saying if you are overweight and all that stuff, you should accept yourself. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying your physicality, your how God made you. I mean, in my family, my wife is petite, and she's okay with that. Petite is beautiful, and she accepts that. My daughters, they're all petite, and they've learned to accept that fact. So again, start accepting the way you are, and that would give you some inner peace, because you're not competing with people. Competing with people robs you from your peace. If you're competing with the guy that has a rich, wealthy guy or whatever, if you're competing with them and you're comparing yourself, I guess comparing yourself to is the better word. So if you're comparing yourself to people, then you're going to be unhappy. But like one of my mentors said one time, and he made a lot of sense, is like, problem is that you're comparing yourself, and you're on chapter 2 of your life, and these people are on chapter 20. So they're farther advanced than you are. They have a lot of more experience, a lot of more connections, a lot of things that you don't have because you're starting out. So when you compare yourself to anybody, you're robbing yourself of your inner peace, because you're not going to be happy. The other thing that inner peace could bring you is when you realize that God gave you some talents different than other people's talents. Again, it goes almost back to the you comparing yourself to other people. You have to accept yourself physically the way you are. Again, petite or not, you have different talents than other people. I'm really good under pressure. I really could handle high stress situations and be very calm. That's one of my gifts. That's one of my talents that I have. There's other people that can't do that. So we all have different talents. So again, don't compare yourself to anybody else. You have to let go of the superficial pains and worries that weigh really heavy on us. Like, for instance, we focus too much on if somebody offended us or whatever. We focus too much on that, and we continue to run that movie over and over and over, and we torture ourselves. So that robs us from our peace. We sometimes blow up things that should not be. We magnify them. We magnify the problems. And when we magnify the problems, we get more stress, and that robs us from our peace. When I tell people, I'm a problem solver. When something happens, I do not focus on the problem. I focus on the solution, 100%. And so I'm not worrying about this issue that just happened or whatever. I'm focusing on how am I going to fix it. So I'm focusing on the right things, and I don't make it a big deal. I just look at the problem and shrink it, and I go, okay, this is the issue. I'm going to work on it. I don't go, oh my God, why did this happen to me? Why did this go this way or whatever? And I'll just look at it and I go, okay, there's this challenge here. Let's figure it out. So I don't even give it much credit, because if I'm giving credit to the problem, I'm magnifying the problem, and it makes it a lot more difficult to deal with. So you have to accept almost everything that comes to you in your life, that you have no control over it. I mean, last week we talked about the things that we could control and the things that we can't control. Well, this podcast about finding and keeping your inner peace. It's like a sequel of that, because we have no control of certain things, and if we don't accept them, then we're going to be struggling, and we're going to be fighting something that we can't control. I hope that's making sense to you guys. We got control of a lot of things, and if we just focus on the things that we have control of, then we'll be a lot happier. Again, don't focus on things you can't control, because you waste time, energy, and you create unnecessary stress. And not only for us, but we create unnecessary stress for the people around us. We got to focus on our attitude as well, because I know a lot of folks that like to exaggerate when something happens. They throw a little drama there for attention and things like that. If you're one of those, you need to stop. You need to recognize that doesn't add anything. It takes away from your peace, and it takes away from your dignity as a human. When people seek an exaggerated amount of attention, it's like a call for help or something like that. I have problems with the type of personalities that are calling too much attention to them, because I'm not that way. But when I say they call too much attention, there's a problem and they exaggerate. It's the end of the world. Everything is going to hell in a handbasket. And no, we just need to look at the issues objectively and go, okay, what is this? Okay, we have a problem here. All right, again, focus on the solution. But you have to constantly check yourself. You have to check yourself and go, okay, before you react, try to take a pause and analyze the situation before you go any further. So, I don't know. Let's just say that you lost the big sale, and the customer calls and says, "We're not going to do business with you." Instead of you going, "My God, it's the end of the world. I'm not going to have this," just pause and go, "Hey, what does this mean? What does this really mean? And how am I going to fix it?" And you would do yourself you would do yourself a better service, because you're not just reacting. You're maintaining your peace. You're looking at the problem or situation very, very objectively, and therefore you're going to make the right decision, or the best decision. So again, overreacting about things is not going to help us. It's not going to help us. I think that, we all make mistakes daily, and we behave sometimes less in an ideal way, and then we judge ourselves. And we judge ourselves very, very, very harsh. I think that one of the things that we need to do when we're in a situation like that is we need to stop again and assess the situation and say, accept the fact that we're all sinners, and we're going to sin. We're going to fall. We're going to have issues. We're going to have problems. We're going to make mistakes. Accept that fact. A sign of pride is when you are surprised when you make a mistake. we're not perfect. So the moment you accept yourself and go, hey, I'm going to make mistakes, the moment you accept that, then you can move along. You could be more at peace because you're going to go, gee whiz, I fell again. Okay, analyze the situation again, look at it, okay, what happened? Where did I go wrong? And then make sure that you make an amend immediately and learn from the situation and then move on. Don't hang around feeling sorry for yourself or pity. Just accept it and go, okay, I'm not going to make the mistake anymore. So we need to really pay attention to that. Another thing is that robs us from inner peace is the fact that we don't move on things. We hold a grudge. And I used to be that way, man. Jeez, you crossed me once and you were dead to me forever. And I would hate you with a passion. And as, time went by or whatever, I realized that anger that I kept in my heart was hurting me. It was like it was poisoning my entire being. When I looked at the person that hurt me, every time I saw him, this vivid image and feeling would come back, and I was like transported back to the past, and at that time where that offense took place, and I would relieve that experience. But I stopped doing that because I knew it was hurting me. So the sooner you get over those things, the better you're going to be. You need to forgive and forget from the bottom of your heart so that you could have that peace. Forgiving somebody brings peace. Forgiving an offense brings peace to your soul. So try to move on immediately and make peace with the person or whatever, and you'll be fine. Another thing that robs us from a peace is when you are a perfectionist. We're not perfect. The things that, for instance, me as a businessman, I launch products that are not perfect. I launch copy, marketing copy that is not perfect. Because if I wait for things to be perfectly, I will never do anything. So for me is I rather launch the product or whatever it is and then adjust on the fly than sitting here and tormenting myself because the product or whatever is not perfect. It is almost a curse when you're a perfectionist, because you have no peace. Everything is not perfect, and you have no peace. We have to allow ourselves some room. Yes, shoot for perfection, obviously, all the time. God said, "Be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect," and that is very true. But you aiming that's a goal to become perfect. But you don't become perfect by tweaking every single thing until in delaying the launch of the product or trying to like as a parent, if you expect perfection from your children, you're going to be very disappointed. Or you're going to be very disappointed at your spouse if you're expecting perfection. You have to give him room to make the mistakes they got to make in order for you to, come in and help them, coach them on the situation or things like that. Very tactful, obviously. But when we think we're perfectionists, we're robbing ourselves from our inner peace. So I guess this sums up to, like, you can't be very, very uptight about every single thing in life, and it's all about the attitude. We need to relax a little more. We need to enjoy life a little more. We need to allow people to make their mistakes. We need to forgive and forget. We need to let go or rancor or anger. Things we got to let go of, the things that we don't have any control over it, and that would help us be at peace. It just sounds too easy, I guess, but it is. It's all about us. It's all about how we handle the things that we can control and can't control. And how do we react? So we have to most definitely always take a look at what we're doing and assess the situation and then make the decision. But reacting very quickly overreacting is going to lead us to sometimes to bad decisions, and it's going to lead us to mistakes, which are going to rob us from our inner peace. So I guess my advice for you guys is, don't just react. Look at every situation and try to build a trigger that when you know you're going to blow a fuse or something like that, you stop and you go, okay, let me analyze this. Let me think about it. Let me be a little more rational. I'm telling you these things because that used to be me when I was young, and I know that my audience it's a lot younger people than I am, and I'm telling you, it works. It's worth for you to invest in techniques that are going to help you assess the situations better or react to situations better. And so work on it. I told you in the last podcast that one of the things that I added to my morning routine is the promise that I make myself every morning. And the promise is, I promise me I'm not going to get angry about anything. I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to try and keep my peace. And it's interesting, because I promised myself, because I made that promise to myself, I'm a little more conscious about when something happens. And believe me, stuff happens. We're developing a new product now, and I placed the order for the raw materials, and I made a mistake. I ordered one part that I didn't need. So I reached out to the vendor and I said, hey, I think I ordered the wrong part. Can you cancel it? And they said yes. And then I got an email today saying they canceled the entire order. Well, now I'm going to be 2 days behind. And instead of getting angry or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, it was a mistake. Maybe the person was having a rough day or whatever. And then I'm going to replace the order. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of my time, but this time I got to be more careful and I'm not going to make a mistake. Instead of going, what the hell is going on? Giving him a call and ripping him a new one and go, what the hell? Which part of you just cancel the item you don't understand? You see where I'm going with this? I'd rather handle it differently than overreacting and give him the benefit of the doubt. And I still have to place the order again regardless. So might as well keep my peace and go along. Anyway, my friends, the last thing is exercise. If you want to keep your inner peace, exercise. Exercise is one of the best things that have happened to me after many years of being overweight and just feeling like crap or whatever. And when I started doing 75 Hard, which is the program that Andy Frisella created, I realized the benefits of exercising. It gives me peace, like I would have a problem and I go get on my bicycle and ride for 10 miles, and 10 times out of 10 I come back with the right decision or the solution. So I would go, okay, I'm going to ride and I'm going to focus on this problem, and I would get on my bike and just kind of think about the problem over and over and the solutions and things like that. And on my way back, I knew what I was going to do. And I do that all the time now. I go for a walk and I think about something, and it helps me. I also think about, serious problems that I have or that I need to resolve, and how am I going to resolve them in a calm, peaceful way so that we maintain our inner peace. All right, my friends, if you found value in the podcast, share it with your family and friends, and make sure you rate it. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at MAGPatriot, and Facebook, Miguel Godfather, or email me your questions at miguel@godfatherchronicles.com. Again, this podcast is sponsored by naturalchoicecompany.com. Unlock your health. Thank you very much. God bless, and I hope you found benefit on this. Thank you. God bless.